So criminals. Some of you might not think about them. Some of you might wonder how they get convicted. Some of you might wonder what happens to the witnesses that testify. For some of those witnesses, it's called the Witness Protection Program, or WITSEC, which is Witness Security. So today I'm here to inform you about the United States Witness Protection Program's organization and tactics. So WITSEC has been around since 1970, and it's under the order of the Department of Justice, and it's operated by the United States Marshal Service. So the reason I'm so interested in this is I recently found out that my mom's cousin was actually in the Witness Protection Program in the 80s and the 90s. I really can't touch on anything particular because it is for their safety. But we all go to school here in New York City. We all probably live nearby or here. We are a hub for things of criminal nature, whether that be terrorism, organized crime. So in some way, stuff like this does pertain to us because we are in such a high risk area. So today I'm here to talk about three main topics about how you become a candidate and how you're chosen for the Witness Protection Program, the trial proceedings, and then what happens to those people after the trial and their new life. So how do you become a candidate? You have to be close enough to a criminal in order for them to even consider you, because you have to have the knowledge of the information that they need. So the criminal that they are trying to prosecute has to be one of the following. They have to be part of drug trafficking, terrorism, or part of an organized crime, which would be any planned or controlled large group, such as the mafia. Your information needs to be reliable, and it's essential to the prosecution. So you just can't have a small amount of information. It has to be enough for the prosecution to send this person to prison. They also look at, is your life at risk? Will testifying affect you and your family's life? So once they have figured all of this out, they then will submit an application, per se, to the OEO, which is the Office of Enforcement Operations, where they then will grant you a preliminary interview with the United States Marshal Service. There, they then determine if the value of your information is more important than the danger that they could put for the community. So because you are a criminal, so they need to make sure that the information is not only going to put this person away, but that by them putting you back into society, you're not going to hurt anybody else. So after that, then the marshal makes their recommendation, which then goes off to the United States Attorney General, where he or she will look at your criminal record, alternatives to the Witness Protection Program, as well as other testimony from other criminals. The application must be sent at least 10 days prior to you testifying in court. So after they choose you, the trial then begins. So immediately, you will be transferred to a secure location, and you will be under 24-hour surveillance. It's just to protect you because you are in a high-threat area. So anything to do with court proceedings or pre-trials, they always are watching you. Now you might think, well, how do they get from this secure location to the courtroom without being harmed? Many different cases have used mail trucks, helicopters, boats, armed guards, all just to get you there protected, and sometimes they'll even sneak them in through the front door, the back door. Statistically, since the Marshal Service started this in 1970, there's been an 89% conviction rate, and 10,000 criminals have been convicted, and 8,600 witnesses have been given new identities, and this is all from the Marshal website. So once the trial is over and they are convicted, your new life now begins. So the Marshal Service gives you a package deal, a welcoming package, I guess you would kind of think about it like that. They help you obtain a reasonable job, they help you find housing in this new location, and you also get payments on average, and this is from justice.gov, of $60,000 per year. But you have to remember that while that might seem like a normal amount of money, that these people are criminals. So when they were in the business, they were probably making way more money than this, so to them that's kind of a step down. They also give you identifying documents, birth certificates, passports, state IDs, which they normally recommend that you keep the first initial of your name or your first name in general, just because it's easier to answer to it and it's an easier adjustment for you. They also arrange counseling for the families because it is a big thing that you're being relocated, you have a new name, you have a new identity. And the whole point of this is for you to be self-sufficient. They're putting you back into society, giving you another opportunity, and so if you don't find a job, or if you don't follow the rules, then they stop sending you money, they terminate your protection. So it's really just a second chance for these people. Now, after you get accepted, they also make you sign a memorandum, you and your family, anyone 18 or older. And some of the rules include no contact with any former associates or any family members not in the program. You have to avoid being found out that you're in the program, so you can't talk about it, you can't talk about your past. You can't commit a crime. Once you commit a crime, the Attorney General will most likely terminate your protection. You cannot return to the town from which you've been relocated, and you must make contact with the United States government at least once a year, so they know that you are in a stable area. So in conclusion, the process of being admitted to the United States Witness Protection Program is a very hard and detailed process. From being chosen, testifying, and relocating with a new life, this is all done to keep those in the program and their families out of harm's way in exchange for their testimony. Think about New York City. All that goes on right here in front of us. So next time you're thinking of committing a crime, think about being taken away from everything you know and love. Thank you.